Hey guys, welcome back to the DemEpi channel. Today I got a little bit of a different video. I'm going to talk about how I train. So how I, schedule my gym sessions, what I do at the gym, what I eat after the gym, and so on and so forth. A couple of people have been asking me how I work out because they want to be bigger or stronger in any kind of way. And they see that I have made some progress and they want to mimic that to make it work for them and make their workouts get better results. So whenever someone asks me in the future, I can just refer them to this video. Before I get into how I train, I just want to talk about the purpose of why I train. And the reason is I want to get stronger as a person. I want to test my limits. I don't want to go through this life and not testing my strength potential. I mean, it would be so sad to miss out on the opportunity of becoming really strong and feeling powerful when you lift things. And when you're, for example, I was moving a couple of weeks ago. For those of you that follow me very closely, you would know that. And I felt very strong when I was moving things. We didn't hire a moving firm, so we did everything by ourselves, and it was really empowering to feel the strength that I had. And it was also nice to be able to help to the extent that I did help because I was so strong. I was able to lift the heaviest things in my old house and get them to the right places. And I think my dad was really grateful for my strength that day or those days because it was a long move. So my purpose is really testing my limits. How strong can I become? I don't want to be like those guys who can't move and were really strong, but I want to be strong and I want to be quite flexible and really function like a normal person, but also have this big impression when I enter a room. And I think my end goal, if I was to choose a role model for how I want to look, would be Thor from the Avengers or The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, also known as. They're both pretty big and they both get this, I get this impression of them that gives them instant respect whenever I see them enter a scene or enter a conference. And I aspire to be like that because I think how they look is really respectful, but also I think it's pretty cool to be that size. And it also gives me more confidence to add to my size. And as I said, I'm grateful that I can help other people with my strength whenever the opportunity shows itself. Now, I want to give you a quick disclaimer. Before trying any exercise at the gym, make sure you know the movement. Don't do things when you're uncomfortable or insecure with the movement. So I did this a lot back in the day. I did research a couple of exercises and tried to figure them out, and I got a lot of them correct. But some of the exercises that I didn't quite read into, and it wound up in some injuries that I've gotten along the way. Nothing serious, but I just want to put it out there to try to just watch a video or find information of the exercise before you try the movement, because it will help your progress and it will spare you a lot of pain. It's a little bit like the race with the rabbit and the turtle. The rabbit is very quick but tires out in the middle of the race. The turtle is consistent and wins the race because the rabbit tires out. The turtle may be slow, but eventually it wins. So be the turtle, don't be the rabbit. When it comes to my training schedule, I got a couple things that I always have in mind. The main thing is to always ensure that each muscle group gets rest. I don't go into the gym and train my whole body for 5 or 6 times a week. That would be stupid because none of my muscles would be able to get the rest that it needs. So I separate the different muscle groups into different days. And what this allows me to do is to be more intense in my sessions of each muscle group. And that makes me get more progress because I'm tiring out and breaking down the muscle to a level that I wouldn't be doing if I was doing full body sessions. For example, if I go and hit some back and then some biceps and really just pump it all out, I can probably pressure my biceps and my back more than if I were to do a full body session and train my chest, my abs, my lower back, my legs. I wouldn't have the time to get that intensity that gives me the progress that I want. So by separating my workouts in different muscle groups, I ensure that each muscle groups get their rest, but also that each session gets to the intensity level that I want it to be at, the intensity level that gets me the progress that I want. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. I try to make sure that the connecting muscles also get their amount of rest. So for example, if I train my back and my biceps, again, I will also hit my back shoulders right here when I train back because it's natural with those movements. It's also natural that when you're training your back to also get some secondary train or work on your biceps. That's why back and biceps pair up pretty well in one session because they're both being worked whenever you work back. So if you work your back muscles, you will naturally work your biceps as well. That does not go vice versa. You can isolate your bicep and really just do a whole session with your bicep only, but I like to smash them together because it makes my training efficient. So I combine them in one session. Back to the point. When you train your back, you will naturally also train your back shoulder as well. And that means that your shoulder will get some strain as well, and we'll get some, we'll break down some muscle because that's how it works. When you train, you break down some muscle. When you rest it, it builds up again and builds bigger. And if I the next day train chest and triceps, because triceps are naturally worked when you work your chest, and do a tricep and chest workout, I will also strain the shoulder, but the front part of the shoulder, because the front part of the shoulder is also naturally worked when you do push-ups or when you're doing the bench press. You're also putting some strain on your shoulders. Now, the third day, it would not be smart to work my shoulders because the past day I worked my front part of my shoulders, and the day before that I worked my back part of my shoulders, which means my shoulders haven't got a lot of rest. So to make sure that my shoulders get rest, I mix in some legs. So the third day I do legs. I train my legs, I train them thoroughly, and make sure that the connecting parts of my upper body get the amount of rest that they need before continuing in my training schedule. I know it is a little bit tricky, but when you work out, you will feel the secondary muscles that are also being worked whenever you're doing your different sessions, like I am. And it is very logical which muscles that need rest next. I don't have a set schedule myself. I go into the gym and I ask myself, what haven't I worked in a while? And I start working at that muscle. So for example, today I hit the gym. I had done some legs yesterday, and then I felt like doing some back. So I did some back and some biceps. So I did some back and biceps today. And the main reason is because my legs need a rest. I couldn't work my legs again because I did them yesterday. So just make sure that all the muscles get rest. That's my point. And there are some connecting muscles that are a little bit tricky, especially the shoulders. So try to separate anything that will work your shoulders apart from each other to not overstrain your shoulders, because that's very easily done, especially if you work intensely in each gym session. So if you haven't caught up on how I pair my muscles, here are some combinations that I use. I train my bicep with my back. I train my tricep with my chest. I train my legs, and I also train my calves when I train my legs. So I do my quads, my hamstrings, and my calves at the same day. And after that, I usually do shoulders. And sometimes the order can be different as long as all the parts of my body are getting enough rest and I'm not feeling particular strains in any part of my body. So that's a good way to separate the different muscle groups, some good pairing right there. I like to separate them into 1 or 2 muscle groups because I want to be efficient. Some people only focus on one muscle group each day. I think that's overkill. I think that you could actually wind up with some injuries that way. Try to pair them up 1 or 2 muscle groups each time. Don't only go for one muscle group each session. But I think it's a very opinionated subject. It's just what I think and what's really working for me, having trained for like 5 years now at the gym. Now notice that I'm not insanely big. I mean, I'm not huge. I'm not. But I have made some progress and my body is putting on some weight, but I could be a lot bigger if I put some more time in and got some more structure into it. I'm a little bit of a flow guy when it comes to my training. I like to get into the gym and feel like what I want to work today, and really ask myself, what haven't I worked in a while? And my diet is a little bit flexible as well. You might be more of a structured person, or you might be like me, a guy or girl that likes to choose whatever they train or what they eat, a little bit what they feel like, and your results will be a mirror of how you make your choices. In general, if you are more structured, you do get better results, in my opinion. I might be more structured in the future. I don't know, but for now I'm satisfied with my progress and my size. I am making progress slowly but surely, so I don't feel like I have to make any change right now, but so I'm comfortable with how it is. The last part of training is, of course, diet, and I did touch on that subject. The reason why I'm taking it last is because I am flexible in my diet, as I said, and I mainly just focus on not eating crap too much. Once a week is fine. Try not to eat candy like 4 times a week. That will mess up your progress. But do what feels right to you and what works for you. I know that some people who are just training for strength, I'm training a little bit for looks as well. It's called hypertrophy, my kind of training. Some people are just training for pure strength, and those kind of people just need whatever calories they can put into themselves, and therefore they eat anything they can see. I'm not like that. I try to just not eat as much crap as possible and focus on eating protein whenever I can see it. Carbohydrates are good, just don't eat the bad carbohydrates. Like chips are bad, sugar naturally. Alcohol is not good for your training, in my opinion. I don't know how researched it is, but the effects of alcohol has some scientific proof to worsen your progress. It lowers your testosterone levels, and therefore you cannot produce or rejuvenate your muscles after a couple of workout sessions, because again, that's what happens. When you work out, you break down your muscles and it builds up again and builds up bigger. When your testosterone levels drop, you are not able to build up your muscle at the same level as you usually do. But that's into details. Overall, diet, just don't eat crap. Try to eat protein, eat carbohydrates before you train, because you need energy when you train, and don't eat crap carbohydrates. And try to, whenever you see protein, just eat it. I don't take too much supplements. Sometimes I take shakes after my workouts. I have taken some gainer because, and gainer shakes helps me gain weight. I have some difficulties in gaining weight, and a lot of guys do. Not all guys do, but a lot of guys do. And it all depends on your body type and the age that you are in. Naturally, in your teenage years, your metabolism is really quick, and you burn calories really fast, which means you have to eat a lot in order to gain size. In your 20s, your metabolism slows down a little bit, and you don't have to eat as much. But if you train a lot, you get a habit, or you need to have a habit of eating as much as possible. Which brings me into how much I train before I end this video. I train approximately 5 to 6 times a week, sometimes 4 if it's a very stressful week. But I try to average 5 workouts each week. I think that's the amount that I'm most comfortable with. That's because I ensure that I get some rest days to rest connecting muscles if I don't change the muscle group. I think 5 to 6 sessions each week gives you a lot of progress and can get you really far. 7 times a week is overkill. You need 1 rest day, according to a lot of science. So if you want to be hardcore, do 6 sessions each week. But if your sessions are intense enough, you should not need more than 6 sessions each week. I mean, 6 sessions is really much. So try to focus on the quality of your sessions rather than the quantity. I have a friend that trains 4 times a week, and he's huge, but he trains, for like 1.5 hours or more each time he trains, and his gym sessions are off the chart. I mean, he's so intense when he trains. So really try to get your mind to the right state when you go lift, and just go and hammer that gym. Finally, before I say goodbye, I just want to repeat what I said in the beginning of this video, and that is try to research whatever exercise you're doing if you haven't done it before. It's really important to try out the movement and make sure that you can activate all the muscle fibers that's required for whatever exercise you're trying. And then once you are regulated, or you have tried the movement a couple of times, you can start adding weight and really make progress in your workout sessions. That's it for today. I hope it's been informative and that you've learned something, and maybe that you've even become motivated to work out more. If you have, send me a DM, tell me that you're satisfied, and otherwise I'll see you guys next week. But until then, stay driven.